Thanks for joining me, Cues with Dogs. Today, we are going to talk about visual perception in dogs and how vision changes our perception of the world in regards to how we process our experiences. I'm going to give you the short list. I will, at this point, let you know that I'm not going to give you all the information. I am going to encourage your curiosity level and allow you to take the time to find out that information on your own so that you have your own information. All I'm doing is guiding you to that information. And hopefully you'll learn things that I don't know and I can share with you what I know. Yeah, and we'll just go from there. So if you discover something that you find fascinating, please share it in the comments below, and let's have a discussion about it. Absolutely. Okay, short list. Dogs have dichromatic vision. We have trichromatic vision. Dogs have less cones in their eyes. We have more. They have more rods and we have less. Their visual acuity is less than ours. Ours is greater than theirs. They do not have a fovea in their eyeball. We have one. Find out what that does. They cannot see beyond 20 feet clearly, meaning like acuity. The rim of my glasses right here, how sharp that is, beyond 20 feet, that stuff becomes blurry for the dog. We can see up to 75 feet clearly. So ours is better. And I shouldn't say better, it's different, because once you start digging into this, hopefully you'll understand why a dog's visual perception is set up the way that it is, and it is to better enhance the dog's experience as opposed to ours. Their peripheral vision is 240 degrees. So if you take their eyeball and you go back to their ears, they can see that much more than we can. We are 180. We see side to side and in front of us. Dogs with short noses have a harder time with depth perception, but because they have binocular vision. Yeah. However, because of that binocular vision, they can see directly in front of us with more clarity. Dogs see movement 2 times greater than we do. So just imagine when we see a movement, what they're seeing is twice as fast. Optic kinetic reflex. That's a long word, and that's worth looking up. And so, yeah, what I know about it is they can see movement. They can follow movement from 875 yards to 980 yards. We can't quite do that as well. Ours is less, significantly. Okay, dogs with long noses. Again, they have better depth perception. Not only do they have better depth perception, they also have better panoramic views. Yeah, so your hound with the big nose, who's really good at hunting, there's a reason why he is. Now, what I'd like to share with you are, after you discover this information, you can fact check me on this, but these are ways that I believe that we diminish the dog's natural ability because we don't know as much about their vision as we should. So that deteriorates our ability to communicate well with the dog in regards to guiding to better behavior. Expecting them to see red or green, yeah, doesn't work for the dog. They can't. So there's that. Expecting them to see something stationary beyond 20 feet, not fair on our behalf. And not knowing is okay, but when you know, you do better. So there it is. Expecting them not to react to movements. Yeah, in your research on visual perception, you will begin to understand how deeply important movement is to dogs in regards to how they visually perceive their world. Breeding dogs with short noses or creating breed standards that require dogs to have short noses. No, no, no. Anyways, just my opinion. Negative reinforcement for reactions to things we can't see. There are some things that dogs can see that we cannot see. We do not have the right to negatively reinforce that at all. I mean, we can, but it's not helping your connection with you and your dog. Just saying. So those are the bad things. Let's talk about the good things that we can do to enhance their visual perception. We can use blue and yellow in regards to training tools. When we're working with sight, we can utilize movement beyond 20 feet or ask them to access a different sense in order to discover an object beyond 20 feet that's not moving. We can reward responses or reactions regardless of whether we know if they're good or bad. If we don't know, there's no harm in saying that's okay. The dog knows, and we should be reinforcing what the dog knows in order to allow the dog to become more confident and more secure with who they are as a dog. Changing the breed standards. That would be awesome. You know, like, let's see those Frenchies with little longer noses, shall we? Can we just extend the pug's nose a bit more so that they can see depth with clarity? That would be awesome. Just asking for a little bit. Training dogs early in the morning and late at night. You would be amazed at throwing a ball at night, how well your dog can retrieve that for you. It's like magic. It is so fun for me to do that because I am just blown away with their ability. We can use movements in speaking with our dogs instead of words. Instead of saying, come, we can use body movement as a cue. Is it important that the dog learn what our language is? Sure. But I think we should toggle that a little bit. I think sometimes we should just talk in a language that the dog is more comfortable with. And not always insist that they need to hear our language. We need to listen to theirs as well and reinforce it so that they can continue to act in their natural behaviors. That would be awesome. That would increase their ability. And last, but surely not least, we can utilize curiosity to expand a dog's peripheral vision. And I will give you an example of that because that sounds like a little bit harder to understand. I watched a trainer do this trick with a dog once, and when I read about the peripheral vision, I quickly employed it with my dog. I will stand back to back with my dog, and I will look over one shoulder, and she is expected to look over that shoulder as well. What I am doing is targeting her ability to utilize her peripheral vision. So I'm enhancing that peripheral vision because she can see a little bit behind me, and because she is sensitive to movement, she will notice better than I would that movement of me turning my head back like that. So that's one way. And then every time she does it, you know, like there's rewards and good, you know, like thank yous and everything else that I can give to her to make her know that I appreciate that quality in her. Not necessarily the trick behavior, but her ability to do something that I can't, that I'm acknowledging it. And the other thing that I do is when I'm hiking on a trail with a dog, when I'm hiking on the trail with my dog and I see another dog or another person, I'll ask my dog to sit, and upon sitting, I will ask her, where's the person, where's the dog? And she will most of the time look, because she knows that that means I'm asking her a question, that it's time for her to do something. I love doing that because tonality is super, super important to dogs. Within a question, that last part of the question has a higher tone to it. So that is a natural positive reinforcement for a dog. It creates a little arousal, which is kind of cool, because when we ask questions, it creates curiosity in human beings, which increases arousal. So that's awesome. Like, we're kind of similar that way. So yeah, I use questions. This is how it goes. Where's the person? Where's the dog? She looks at the person. Well, then she turns around, she looks at me, and I give her a treat and I say thank you. And then she has a choice. She can look at the person, or she can continue looking at me, and whatever she chooses to do, I reinforce it by saying thank you. Or I'll ask the question, are you looking at me? Thank you. Or if she's looking at the dog and I'm like, are you looking at the dog? Where's the dog? And then she'll look at me again and I'll give her a treat. What I'm doing is I'm actually reinforcing both behaviors. I want her to obtain information, but I also want her to be able to interrupt her arousal, to be able to focus on something else too. And I think that that strengthens the dog's ability to do both, and it definitely gives me more freedom. But the beauty of having her sit while somebody walks by is, if we're sitting here, check out the peripheral vision. The peripheral vision is happening. So she's looking at me, looking there, looking at me, looking there, looking at me, looking there. So I'm increasing her ability to utilize her peripheral vision. And I think that's beautiful. So, and I do it with curiosity. And I think that's how we can reward responses or reactions to things that we may not necessarily see or know is happening. With a question: who is it? What do you hear? What do you smell? What do you see? Yeah. So anyways, there we go. On curiosity, go ahead, research what I've said, get back to me, let me know what you find, let everybody else know what you found, and hopefully we can all come together with a whole bunch of information, a whole bunch of new information that we found. Leave them in the comments below, and once again, thank you for seeing me and perceiving me and acknowledging me. I appreciate that greatly. Thank you very much, and until next time, have a great day. Thanks.